Most men are playing this game completely wrong. And that's why, no matter how hard they try, they keep finding themselves ghosted, ignored, or treated like an afterthought. Here's the truth. Getting what you want from women has nothing to do with luck, looks, or memorizing some perfect line. It's not about begging for her time, chasing after her approval, or settling for scraps of attention. There's a system, a rhythm in the way women respond to men that almost no one talks about because most men can't see it. But once you understand it, everything changes. You'll never look at dating, love, or connection the same way again. I'm Selena Rose, and this is Relationship Truths. And today, I'm going to walk you through something that could flip your whole perspective upside down. Why does this matter? Because love isn't supposed to be about chasing someone until you're exhausted. It's not supposed to feel like you're begging for a seat at a table that should have been yours all along. Love, real lasting love, comes when you understand the unspoken language between men and women. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. By the end of this video, you'll know the 4 hidden keys that unlock a woman's attraction. First, the mindset shift that flips the script so she begins to invest in you. Second, the hidden language women respond to, without even realizing it. Third, the subtle triggers that make her want to give you what you want, without you ever having to ask. And last, the fatal mistake that kills attraction every single time, and how to avoid it. But listen carefully. If you're here, watching this right now, it tells me something important about you. It tells me you don't just want quick tips or pickup tricks, you want real results. You want connection. You want respect. And here's where I have to stop and ask you a serious question. If that's truly what you want, why would you risk missing it by walking away without hitting subscribe? Because let's be brutally honest. If you don't subscribe, you're silently choosing to stay stuck in the same cycle of rejection, frustration, and confusion that brought you here in the first place. And if that's really what you want, don't just leave quietly. I challenge you, go down to the comments right now and explain why you'd rather keep losing than simply pressing one button that could change your love life forever. But if you're serious about growth, if you're ready to stop chasing and start leading, then stay with me. Because what I'm about to share is going to open your eyes to a truth most men never figure out until it's too late. Here's the first truth you need to absorb. Most men give away their power without even realizing it. Not because they're weak, not because they don't have value, but because of the way they communicate. Every time you ask for permission, every time you phrase your desire like a request, you're silently handing her the steering wheel. Think about it. You say, "Can I take you out?" You say, "Would you like to hang out?" You even type, "Hey, are you free this weekend?" On the surface, those questions look polite, respectful, normal. But underneath, here's what they really communicate. You're the prize. You're in control. I'm waiting for your approval. And women feel that energy immediately. When you give a woman all the power, she loses interest fast. Because deep down, women don't fall for the man who's begging to be chosen. They fall for the man who already knows he's worth choosing. Let me paint the contrast. Instead of, "Can I take you out?" say, "I'm heading to this new place Friday night. Come with me." Instead of, "Are you free Thursday?" say, "I've got Thursday open. Let's grab a drink." Do you hear the difference? One sounds like a man asking for permission. The other sounds like a man who already knows his direction and is simply inviting her along for the ride. And here's the secret. Women love a man who makes decisions. Not because they can't make decisions themselves, but because certainty is magnetic. It signals confidence, strength, and leadership. It tells her, this man doesn't need my approval to move forward. He already knows who he is and where he's going. That's the kind of energy women are drawn to, certainty. Now let's be realistic. Sometimes she might counter with an alternative. Maybe she says, "I can't do Friday, but I'm free Saturday." That's fine. That's not rejection. That's negotiation from a place of respect. She's showing interest by offering another path. But what if she just says no, or ignores you completely? Then, you've learned something valuable. You've saved yourself time energy, and dignity, because a woman who's genuinely interested will always find a way to connect with you. And that's why this shift is so powerful. When you stop asking and start expecting, you instantly filter out the women who don't value you. You stop wasting time on half-hearted maybes and start investing in women who recognize your worth. Now I need to pause and highlight something important. This principle only works if it comes from a place of confidence, not neediness. Because if you say, "I'm heading out Friday, you should come," and then she doesn't reply, the worst thing you could do is double text, chase, or beg her to say yes. No, you state your plan, you extend the invitation, and then you move on. That's it. A true leader doesn't plead for followers, he simply leads. And when you carry yourself this way, something amazing happens. Women start to see you differently. They feel safe in your certainty. They respect your direction. They begin to lean in, because you're not like the dozens of men asking them to make the decision. You've already made it, and that's the energy that builds attraction. So let me ask you, are you moving through relationships like a man expecting respect, or are you still waiting for permission? Because the difference between the two is the difference between being pursued and being ignored. Now that you understand the shift from asking to expecting, let's talk about the second piece of the puzzle. Something most men completely miss. Men fail, not because they're not good men, not because they don't have value, but because they keep trying to connect with women through logic. And here's the truth you need to hear. Women don't choose based on logic. They choose based on emotion. Let me explain. A man thinks, if I prove that I have a good job, if I show her that I'm nice, if I tell her that I'll treat her well, she'll see I'm worth choosing. Sounds reasonable, right? But here's the problem. Women aren't making decisions with a checklist. They're making decisions with their hearts. That's why you'll see a woman turn down the stable, dependable man who lays out his resume, and then chase the unpredictable guy who barely replies to her texts. It's not that she wants drama. It's not that she loves being disrespected. It's because that man triggers something deeper in her. He makes her feel. He creates emotion, and emotion is everything. So if you're approaching women with logical arguments, you should give me a chance because we have so much in common. Or, I'm not like other guys, I'll treat you better. You're already losing. Because what she hears is not excitement. What she feels is not attraction. What she experiences is boredom. Here's what works instead. Intrigue, playfulness, mystery. Think about it. If every other man is bombarding her with predictable questions, what do you do for fun? Where are you from? What kind of music do you like? You sound like an interview, not a connection. But if you spark curiosity, if you make her laugh or challenge her in a playful way, suddenly you're not like the rest. Let me give you an example. Instead of asking, "So, what do you do?" Say, "You strike me as the kind of woman who's secretly got a wild side nobody knows about. Am I right?" Instead of, "What kind of hobbies do you have?" Say, "I bet you were the troublemaker in high school. Don't even try to deny it." Or, instead of the tired, "Do you like to cook?" Say, "I can already tell you're either a 5-star chef or a complete disaster in the kitchen. No in between." Do you hear the difference? One line puts her in the driver's seat, politely answering boring questions. The other pulls her into a story. It makes her smile. It makes her curious about you. It forces her to reveal a piece of herself. And that's the point. You're not just asking for information, you're creating an emotional experience. Now let's take it deeper. One of the fastest ways to kill attraction is oversharing. When you pour out your whole life story in the first conversation, you kill the very thing that keeps her invested, mystery. Because once she feels like she's figured you out, the game is over. There's no excitement left, no curiosity pulling her in. So what's the better path? Reveal yourself slowly, leave gaps, let her wonder, let her ask. When a woman is curious about you, she's already emotionally invested. And that's the state you want her in. Attraction isn't about proving yourself. It's about making her feel something worth chasing. Now, if you've been nodding along, but you still haven't subscribed, I want you to stop and ask yourself, why? Because here's the reality. The men who subscribe here are the ones who grow. They're the ones who learn. They're the ones who step ahead of the pack. And the men who don't? They keep chasing the same women, making the same mistakes, and wondering why nothing changes. So if you refuse to hit subscribe, at least be honest. Go down to the comments right now and tell me, why are you choosing to stay behind while other men are moving forward? But if you're ready to grow, if you're ready to stop being predictable and start being unforgettable, then let's keep going. Because the next shift is where things get really interesting. Here's the next truth most men never understand. The real power in any interaction isn't with the person asking, it's with the person granting. Think about it. If you're always the one requesting, chasing, convincing, then you're already at a disadvantage. You've placed yourself in the weaker position. And here's the reality. Women rarely feel deep attraction for the man they see as powerless. So the question becomes, how do you flip the script? How do you create a dynamic where she wants to give you what you want, without you ever having to beg for it? The answer lies in 3 psychological triggers, subtle but powerful forces that pull her toward you and make her want to prove herself to you. Let's break them down. 1. The reward system. Humans, not just women, are wired to chase rewards. The problem most men make is they give out rewards too freely. They offer unlimited attention, endless validation, constant compliments, all before the woman has even invested anything. What happens when something is given too freely? Its value drops. She doesn't treasure it. She doesn't feel like she's earned it. Picture this. A man meets a woman. She barely responds to his messages, yet the next day, he's sending her a good morning text. She ignores him for hours, and he still double texts to check in. He floods her with attention, but she hasn't had to do anything to deserve it. Now ask yourself, why would she value his energy? Why would she fight for it? She doesn't, because it cost her nothing. Here's how you flip it. Only reward the behavior you actually want to see more of. When she invests, whether that's giving you her time, showing genuine effort, or leaning into you emotionally, that's when you respond with warmth and energy. But when she pulls away, when she goes cold, when she invests nothing, you don't chase, you don't complain, you don't reward the lack of effort. You simply pull back, quietly, calmly, without drama. And here's the beauty of it. If she truly values you, she'll feel the shift. She'll notice that gap, and her natural instinct will be to close it. Suddenly, she's the one trying harder, reaching out, putting in the effort. Because here's a secret. Women don't want what's simply handed to them. They crave what they feel they could lose. 2. Implied scarcity. The second trigger is scarcity. Scarcity is one of the strongest forces in psychology. It's what makes diamonds valuable. It's why people line up for limited edition sneakers. It's why we crave what we feel we can't easily have. Your attention, as a man, should work the same way. It should feel precious, not disposable. If you're always available, replying instantly, dropping everything for her, what does that signal? That your time has no competing value. That you have nowhere else to be, nothing else going on, and no one else who values you. And if your attention is unlimited, why should she fight for it? But when your time is framed as something scarce, something with boundaries, it transforms the way she sees you. For example, instead of being glued to your phone, respond when it fits into your day. Instead of rearranging your life to see her, invite her into your schedule. Instead of being predictable, allow for a little space, a little distance, a little mystery. This doesn't mean you play games. It means you treat your own life as important. Because it is. And here's what happens. When she feels like your attention isn't guaranteed, she values it more. She treasures the moments she gets it. She works harder to secure her place in your life. Scarcity creates value. And a woman who feels your value will naturally lean in because she doesn't want to lose her spot in your world. 3. Make it about her. The third trigger is what I call subconscious persuasion, making it about her. Most men make requests that sound self-centered. They say, "Can you cook for me?" Send me a picture. Do this for me. And what does that sound like? Taking, demanding, needing. But when you flip the frame and make it about her, something magical happens. She feels like she's proving herself to you. She feels like she's winning your attention. Here's how it works. Instead of, cook for me sometime, say, you look like you can cook up a storm. I need to see this for myself. Now it's not a chore. It's an invitation for her to showcase herself. Instead of, send me a picture, say, I bet you're looking stunning right now, aren't you? Now it's not a demand. It's a playful challenge she wants to answer. Do you see the shift? The words are different, but the energy is everything. You're not taking. You're creating a desire in her to give. And when a woman feels like she's doing something by her own choice, something that she decided to offer, you're no longer negotiating for her effort. You've inspired it. Put these 3 triggers together, and suddenly the entire balance of power shifts. You're no longer chasing. She's investing. You're no longer begging. She's proving. You're no longer asking. She's offering. And that's the energy that makes her want to give you what you want, without you having to say a word. Because the truth is, women don't fall for men who take. They fall for men who inspire. Now let me share something that quietly destroys attraction faster than almost anything else. It's subtle. Most men don't even realize they're doing it. But once you fall into this trap, it's almost impossible to climb out. I'm talking about negotiating for her attention. Have you ever found yourself chasing after a woman who's pulling away? She goes quiet, so you text her more. She grows distant, so you remind her of all the reasons she should give you a chance. Maybe you even settle for the dreaded friend zone, secretly hoping she'll wake up one day and see your worth. But instead of drawing her closer, what happens? The more you try, the further she drifts. The more you explain your value, the less valuable you appear. Why? Because women don't respect men who negotiate for their attention. And when respect is gone, attraction is gone. Period. So how do you protect yourself from this mistake? You live by 3 rules. Rule 1, the 1-strike rule. If she pulls away once, mirror her energy. Don't chase, don't explain, don't demand answers. Simply match her distance. And if she pulls away twice, she's gone. You let her go with dignity, no bitterness, no begging. Because here's the truth. A woman who's truly interested will always find a way to show it. And if she doesn't, you've just saved yourself months of wasted time and energy. Rule 2, drop the pick-me energy. Do you know what women sense immediately? Desperation. That please choose me, I'll do anything vibe. It shows up when you shower her with effort she hasn't earned. It shows up when you make her feel like she's doing you a favor by being with you. And here's the reality. No woman wants to feel like she's your charity project. She doesn't want to feel like you're pleading for her approval. She wants to feel like she's won something valuable. The only way she'll feel that way is if you carry yourself like a man who already knows his worth. Rule 3. Keep an abundance mindset. Scarcity will make you beg. Abundance will make you choose. When you act like this woman is your only shot at happiness, you'll negotiate. You'll cling. You'll bend your standards. But when you live from abundance, you understand there are always other options. There are always other women who will value your time, your energy, your heart. And here's the paradox. When you live with abundance, women can feel it. They can sense you're not afraid to walk away. And that confidence is magnetic. So let me ask you, are you negotiating for crumbs or are you standing in your worth? Because that difference determines whether she respects you or dismisses you. And I need to be brutally honest here. If you've listened this far and you still haven't subscribed, you're proving the very point I warn men about. You hesitate. You negotiate. You wait for permission. And that hesitation, it's exactly why women pull away. So here's your choice. Hit subscribe now or step into the comments and admit why you'd rather watch your chances slip away than join the men who are already transforming their love lives here. Because this isn't just about videos. This is about your growth, your confidence, your relationships, and you can either keep playing the same game that keeps you stuck, or you can take action today. The choice, as always, is yours. So let's bring it all together. You've just walked through the 4 shifts that change everything about the way women see you, respect you, and respond to you. First, you learn to shift from asking to expecting. No more begging for permission, no more waiting for her approval. You lead with certainty, and certainty is what draws her in. Second, you discovered how to speak the language women actually respond to. Not logic, not checklists, not rehearsed lines, but emotion, curiosity, playful intrigue. A slow reveal that keeps her wondering who you are and what you're about. Third, we explored how to make her want to give you what you want. Through the reward system, implied scarcity, and making it about her, you stop chasing and you start inspiring. She becomes the one leaning in, proving herself to you. And finally, we expose the fatal mistake most men make, negotiating for attention. Because the moment you start pleading for her interest, you lose her respect. And without respect, there is no attraction. That's why you live by the one-strike rule. You drop the pick-me energy, and you carry an abundance mindset that says, I know my worth, and I'm not afraid to walk away. These 4 truths are not tricks. They're not games. They're not about manipulating anyone. They're about rewiring the way you see yourself, so that women naturally respond to the man you already are, not the man you're pretending to be. And here's the most important thing I want you to take away. The game changes the moment you decide to change. Not tomorrow, not next year, not after you've lost another chance at love. It changes the second you choose to lead with confidence, to stand in your worth, and to stop negotiating for scraps. Because you are not here to beg for someone's attention. You are here to be chosen by the woman who truly values you. This is Selena Rose, and you've been watching Relationship Truths. Remember, the game changes the moment you decide to.